Welcome to The Village, a podcast focusing on the students, staff, and community members that make Village Elementary unique. We are your hosts today. I'm Bryson.
I'm Vernon.
I'm Oliver.
And I'm Mrs. Evans.
Today we are bringing you the 5th episode in our series about the 7 habits of happy kids, or as some of you may know it, the 7 habits of highly successful people.
So far, the other Eagle leaders have discussed habit number 1, be proactive. Habit number 2, begin with the in mind. And habit number 3, put first things first.
Today we are going to be discussing habit 4, which is think win-win. This habit teaches us how to solve problems. It isn't like when winning a soccer game or a race. When you are having a competition, there is usually a winner and a loser, but that isn't what this habit teaches us about.
What we have learned about this habit is when we have a disagreement or different opinions about something with our friends, there is usually a way to find a way for everyone to win.
This means that we can problem solve when an issue comes up with another person.
It means that we think about what other people like and what want, not just what we want.
And we are kind to others, and we think of ways we can make them happy.
In our Eagle Leader meetings, we talked about an example out at recess. Say and your friend play every day together, but today you want to play soccer and your friend wants to swing on the swings. There is no need to argue about it. You can use the think win-win habit to come up with a solution.
My idea was that half the recess we would go and play soccer together.
And my idea was that today we play soccer the whole recess, and tomorrow we will swing on the swings.
Both of these are examples of a win-win compromise where everyone can be happy.
Sometimes, although you may have an no deal, and that is okay too. That just means that you agree to disagree. It doesn't mean that you aren't friends anymore or that you won't play together the next day, but you just go your separate ways.
I think that this habit is really important, and we have invited a special guest on to talk about it with us.
This guy is definitely one of the most popular people in the building. Everyone loves him.
We know you will be excited to hear from the one and only Mr. Battenfield.
Welcome, Mr. Battenfield. Would you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hello, my name is Mr. Battenfield, and I am your PE teacher here at Village Elementary.
Thank you for coming. How long have you been a teacher, Mr. Battenfield?
It feels like forever some days, but I have been teaching for 20 years. This is my 21st year after I'm done.
That is a long time.
What made you want to become a teacher, a PE teacher?
When I was in high school, I really started enjoying all of my PE classes, and I thought if I were ever had the chance to go to college, I think that's what I would want to be, as a PE teacher.
What is your favorite thing about being a PE teacher?
I think about this often. I think about, like, if I were to ever retire, or whenever I do retire from teaching, what's the thing I'm going to miss the most? And it's definitely going to be the students. That's what's the most important thing to me. My favorite thing about being a PE teacher is the students.
Have you ever heard of the 7 Habits of Happy Kids?
I have. I don't know a whole lot about all the 7 habits, of the happy kids, but I am familiar with the 7 habits of highly successful people.
What does the habit think, win, win mean to you?
What it means to me is there needs to be a compromise between the two people or the groups that are having maybe a disagreement or something like that.
Can you think of an example of how we can practice this habit in PE?
Sure. There's many things that we practice. Like I always say at the beginning of the year, like if 2 people want the same ball, there's a better way to solve the problem instead of fighting over it. Maybe just play rock, paper, scissors, and the person who wins the rock, paper, scissors gets to have the ball. Sometimes there is 2 people who want the same person to be their partner, and I have those 2 people just play rock, paper, scissors for the partner, and then that person has to go find somebody else that doesn't not able to win the rock, paper, scissors.
What is your opinion of competition versus win-win?
People who know me, I am a very competitive person myself. But in PE, I feel like we're there to learn skills. We're not there to try to be the absolute best. We're just there to learn all the skills that you would need. Like whenever you get in middle school, high school, and you're doing PE classes there, that you know a little bit about what you're going to be doing or how to do those skills. So, but for me personally, I'm a big competitor. I love to win any sort of physical event that I do, and but that's me for myself in the PE classroom where it's all about just learning skills.
I'm going to add to that. I feel the same way about I love to compete, and we say that every day in our Eagle Leader meeting. We're always trying to do our best. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're winning every single time, because maybe my best is 2nd or 3rd place, or maybe my best doesn't place. But, I think it's very important to compete in events, whether it's academic or sports. It could be dance or cheer or soccer, whatever it is that you like to do. It's important to compete in those, and there is a winner. That's just life, right? But so when I first read this habit, I was kind of confused. I was like, think win-win. Not everybody can win. But what I loved about learning about it was that that's not what it's saying. It's saying about how to get along with people and how to find the best for everybody. So I'm glad you said that, because I like to compete too. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Especially in soccer.
How do you use this habit in your life outside of the school?
I think just in my daily life with my wife, sometimes we don't agree on some things, and we try to find a compromise and go with that. So that's probably one of the closest things to me, how I would use that habit.
Do you guys have that happen at home?
Yeah, especially with
Maybe
my sister
siblings.
a bunch.
Mhm.
How do you think win-win in your job?
There has to be a compromise pretty much anywhere you go in your life. So like in my job, I have to kind of let things go sometimes and work with everybody around me, and maybe things aren't going exactly the way it should be, but I just try to compromise with the people around me and work with the people around me, especially like specials teachers. Whenever maybe we have to catch another class that maybe the teacher is gone that day or had a meeting or something, and so we try to help out that way.
How does think win-win apply to PE?
Well, like we said earlier, you need to find that happy middle where everybody's getting a little bit of something, whether it's dividing out equipment or dividing out teams. A lot of people want to just want to make their own team, and maybe all the students who are really good at a certain skill are all together, when we probably need to break that up a little bit so that you can help other students with a lower skill with whatever we're learning that day.
How do you think students could practice this habit?
I think they could practice it anywhere, like in the classroom, in the lunchroom, at recess. Recess and PE would be a big time to do it, because we do a lot of working together and playing with other people and that sort of thing. I think that would be a good place to use it at school.
How do you help teach your students how to compromise?
I always just try to help them out and help them make that decision. Like a lot of times, if I just see somebody, like it looks like they might be getting ready to have an argument, or discussing a certain issue, I'll just even look at them and just show them rock paper scissors with my hands, and they realize, oh yeah, I need to play rock paper scissors, try to solve the problem. And just stuff like that, just trying to help students the best that I can, so that maybe they can each person get what they want.
Why do you think this habit is important?
Well, just like I said, it needs to be, it's kind of nice where two people get kind of what they want, and maybe one time one person will get to use the red foam ball when the other person didn't, but then the next game, maybe that person that really wanted that red foam ball will get the red foam ball for the next game or something. So it's just really good to kind of make sure everyone gets a little bit of what they want.
Do you guys have any questions other than the habit to ask, burning questions you've always wanted to ask Mr. Battenfield?
This is your chance.
How long have you been dating Mrs. Battenfield for?
Goodness. That's a good question. What is it?
Uh-oh.
This is 2024. Let's see. I would think probably 23 or 24 years. Something like that.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
What was your favorite sport, like, growing up?
Growing up, my favorite sport was either football or volleyball. I never got to play volleyball in high school because around here they don't have boys volleyball. But so it was. I always played football. That was kind of my thing. I grew up in a small school, so we didn't have all the other sports like what Emporia High has. We didn't have soccer and tennis and baseball and stuff like that. It was a really small school.
What was your favorite thing in one of your elementary schools?
Favorite thing? Probably field day. Field day all the way. This is my favorite. Usually when I was younger, they set up field day more like a track meet. And you got to choose only 3 or 4 events, and then you competed in those events. Like it might have been long jump or softball throw or running races and that sort of thing.
Where were you born?
Independence, Missouri. Right down the street from the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium.
What made you want to come to this school?
I just love students, love little kids, so I just decided I wanted to be at Village.
Nice.
Yeah, good question.
How long have you been a PE teacher here for?
At this school, let's see, I came here in 2011. This is 2024, so it's like 12 or 13 years. Wow, longer than you guys have been alive.
I was about to say, how old are you all?
9.
Yeah. Bryson's probably 10.
11,
Maybe 11.
actually.
You just
Yeah.
turned? Okay.
I'm going to turn 9 soon.
I don't think my sister Ellie was even born. She was born in 2011, but it's based on the month.
Sure. I think I started here in August 2011.
That's her month. That's her birthday.
Oh, that was her birthday present.
What other schools did you teach before you?
Good
teach
question. Before I was at Village, I taught 7 years, I think, at a 5th grade building, which was downtown. It's now called the Humanitarian Center, and all there were 5th graders in it, the whole school. There was 350 5th graders on average, and I had 16 5th grade classes. Absolutely loved that place. And then before that, I taught 1 year at the middle school. I did health.
What did you do before you became a PE teacher?
Well, while I was in college, I worked at a restaurant where El Dorito is now. It used to be called Carlos O'Kelly's, and I worked there as a server, and I did some cooking, and I was like a manager as well for a little bit. Um, before I did that, I did build some houses. I built bridges, worked in the factories, that sort of thing.
Nice. What sport do you do now? Well, if you even do any.
Probably the one that I do more now is either running or disc golf. That's the two that I do the most because it's a little easier for me to do.
Have you won any like competitions?
There's been some small races that I have won. I recently did a race in Kansas City this last weekend that proved to be very, very difficult. I was not ready for that race, but I know I need to go back next year so I can try to prove myself because I didn't do so well.
I have one last question, and that I always like to ask, if you could give a piece of advice to anyone listening, what would that be?
The biggest piece of advice that I would give is always be kind, no matter what.
I like that. I agree. Well, what do you guys say to Mr. Backfield?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You guys asked some great questions.
Thank you.